Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so initially when I had planned to do this video, I wanted to do like a panel, but everybody was busy tonight. Um and I sent the link, so um whenever my friend gets in, I guess she gonna go ahead and join in or whatever. But the show must go on. So y'all, I was y'all, I'm in the garage. Cause my husband be saying I'm too loud, and so he put me out of the dining room where I typically record. And I was like, well, I'll just sit up in the garage. I thought I heard something outside though. But anyway, so I know this is a tough topic. And some things might ruffle a few feathers. Um, but anyway, here goes. So it is no secret that Black women tend to um marry at or intermarriage or remarry. They're less likely than Black men or women from other racial or ethnic groups. And I wanted to go over like some of the reasons why I thought that was so. And like from like listening to other men and stuff like that. So let me just put that out there. Because a lot of women try to put out this idea that there are not enough eligible Black men. There are plenty eligible Black men. They just usually might not find you or your behaviors as attractive. And y'all, this is not no pick me video, because I've already been picked, but um this is just to, I guess, make people aware. And I'm sure it's plenty, well, there are a lot of YouTubers that discuss like certain behaviors and like the typical stereotypes that Black women have that keep them from being I guess an attractive mate, or keep them from getting married, basically. So, Black men are twice as likely to have a spouse of a different race. I know a lot of Black women like limit themselves and only date Black men, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if that's what you want, you have to um, display behaviors that are gonna get you what and who you want. Um, Let me see. I really shouldn't put too much thought into this, because I really don't care if like people get mad or don't agree with me. Um, who cares, right? It's only YouTube. But one of the things I'll say is Black women's expectations sometimes, um, and what they require their mate to have. Um, for instance, like I gotta have a man that makes six figures. But I mean, you living off of government assistance. It don't work like that. Like you have to match what you expect from your partner. And then the average Black man only makes about 40 to 50,000 a year. And Black women who expect to marry a Black man who makes six figures, that is a very high expectation, because it's already difficult enough finding um well, I'm not gonna say it's difficult finding a Black man that's employed, because majority of the Black men I know are employed, but they just aren't making six figures. And the ones that I do know that are making six figures, or they have high standards as well. And sometimes the women that want them are feel like they are entitled to a six-figure man don't actually meet their criteria. And I know a lot of people just hate and drag Kevin Samuels, but he makes a lot of valid points. And I don't know why some of these women will call into the show, for one, not looking their best, because um if you go on a show seeking dating advice and you don't have it together, the first thing people gonna do is drag you for your looks. So I also read an article where they did a survey, um, and the samples from the survey, or the opinions, came from black men who were married. And one of them was saying that some black women's standards are so high that they miss out on the person that is for them. Standards are sometimes unrealistic. And he also went on to say that how a lot of black women expect you to already have it all. And if you get with someone that already has it all, I don't feel like they will value you as much um if you didn't help them get to where they are, if that makes any sense. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with having standards. I had certain things that I definitely refused to settle for. Um, but like, you have to be realistic, and you also have to be realistic about what you bring to the table as well, because I mean, how you gonna expect all these standards and you can't even be ladylike? Which brings me to um my next point about how a lot of black women like to cuss and fuss and nag. And before I got married, there were some things that I had to work on and reevaluate about myself, because even my dad told me that no man is gonna want to like fuss with their wife all the time. Stop nagging, learn to shut up sometimes. And when you shut up and you learn to listen, you actually learn a lot more. And that's when you dealing with anybody. A huge mistake that a lot of black women make, when they meet a guy, they tend to run him off because they overshare and talk too damn much and tell too much of their damn business, instead of shutting up and letting him talk so that you can get an idea and understand what type of man he is, what he's looking for. Because sometimes y'all get y'all feelings hurt when a man tell you what he want from the jump, and y'all just figure y'all can like change his point of view, or change what he wants, and that's not the case. So yeah, learn to shut up sometimes. um what else was I gonna say? I wrote some stuff down. Oh, now, a lot of educated women feel like that having a degree makes them a better partner or makes them more desirable. And that just isn't the case. And I guess sometimes as well, and this is what one of my homeboys told me, that like sometimes educated women feel as if they're superior, and have, I guess, like attitudes, which is also like a major turn off for a man. Like, you can't be condescending, talk to somebody in any kind of way and expect them to stick around. Like, that's just not how that shit work. Um, One thing I know that men have is pride, and you can't um you can't hurt somebody pride and expect them to stick around, because it's not that we don't have problems getting a man, but according to statistics, the issue comes with getting a man to marry you and having long term keeping a long-term relationship going. And I understand that not everyone wants to get married. It isn't for everyone, but a lot of women do. And on top of that, they know that they want to be married, but a lot of times they contradict themselves when they speak about what it is that they want and what they look for in a partner. Um, Another thing is like women have to learn to be ladylike. Black women, let me be specific. You have to learn to be ladylike because, and I, especially in New Orleans, a lot of women have masculine energy, want to cuss you out, and act real ignorant. And they even like cuss at their kids. I was talking to my friend earlier, and she was discussing how to touch back on like black men marrying outside of their race. We were discussing how like some of the black women treat their children, and a lot of black men don't care for their mother, which is part of the reason why they choose not to date black women. And I'm not saying all, but a lot of black women like cuss out their kids. I see it a lot in the grocery store. Um, Cuss the kids out, and these men are growing up to like despise them. So, um, a lot of women want to put the blame on men don't do this, men don't do that, but you have to set the bar because who's raising the kids? The women are raising the kids. So, how you are treating your sons determines how they're going to grow up and treat women. Um, what else? Y'all, I should have like wrote everything down. Um, oh, now I did also read that one of the shifts is because a lot of black women feel like black men can't be trusted to stay with and provide for black women. Like I stated, the average black man only makes about 40 to 50,000 a year. And if you have like an educated woman that makes more money than the average black man and being condescending, then like, yeah, it's definitely not gonna work. Um, People just have to be realistic, and there are plenty of men that make over that amount. But I just want people to like do more research. Well, women, I want more women to do more research to determine what's realistic and what's not realistic when they're doing this checklist of the type of man that they want. Um, and really like put thought into it. Cause when I watch a lot of videos, and they'll say they want one thing and they end up contradicting themselves, and then they end up like seeing how the standards are basically ridiculous and unrealistic. Um, I know I'm all over the place, y'all, but just bear with me. Um, so I made this note too. Another reason may be that lower income black men reject monogamous relationships. Um, one thing that me and my friend were talking about earlier is like if y'all, this is her. Hello. Okay, I'm about to add you now. Okay, you in here?
Yeah, girl, I'm just in the dark.
Okay, cool. So I was just telling the viewers how what we was discussing earlier in reference to a lot of the treatment that black men receive as kids and the disdain that they have for their mothers based off of how they're treated and why some of them choose not to marry black women.
Yeah, girl. It's a lot. It's a lot
Yeah,
out here in the streets, especially with the men. Cause like psychologically, they went through a lot of trauma and things growing up with their mama.
yeah,
So when they get with other black women, that reminds them of that. That reminds them furthermore on why they solidify and not get married. You feel me?
yep, yep.
So, and just in regards to that, it's a lot of things. It's a lot that females have to work on, but I think sometimes why a lot of men are feeling rejected. No, not feeling rejected. Feeling this type of way with black women is because a lot of them really just don't have no direction in where they want to go, what
Right.
what they want to do, how they're gonna obtain that level, and just being out here and not having no sense of direction growing up from their parents, it makes it twice as hard for them. So in return, they have a retaliation against the black woman. Or the reason why they get so much stuff is because the government give it to them. Uncle Sam this and Uncle Sam that. But everybody's holding a black woman accountable for those things. But who's holding a black man accountable? Who's telling him by a certain age he should be married, handling his business and handling his own with a family? So it's just a double-edged sword with both conversations. So what should we take place? What should we start at?
But that falls onto the black women too, because like I was saying, black women are the ones that are raising the black men. So they have to instill into their children the importance of the institute of marriage and what to how to choose a spouse and things like that. Like we have to teach our kids that. And like even those that come from like a single family home, because it is a completely different ball game when you're doing stuff by yourself. It's easier when you have a helpmate, and it's definitely important on the type of partner that you choose. Um, and black men are starting to like wake up to that. And basically choosing not to marry black women. And a lot of them feel constantly attacked by black women from like what I was from like speaking to certain black men. Um, but yeah, like we have to train them to, and not only to choose a suitable partner, but to be a suitable partner as well.
I agree. I agree. Which is why I be, sharing with young ladies like what different books and stuff they may read. And Steve Harvey was actually definitely a go-to for those type of matters of actually picking out mates, understanding, just the whole dynamics of the relationship, men, what they like, hunter, So when you think about all those things, but you're constantly being projected with all these negative stereotypes, it's just so contradicting. It's confusing too to a lot of young women on what it is that they should be picking. Because let's just be honest, some of our good girls ain't picking too well either, you know, including the ratchet ghetto. But when it is that our men gonna step up, when they gonna raise the standards and the bar on, what standards they gonna uphold and their dreams and their goals. Because again, yes, black women birthed the earth. However, she didn't do it alone. So
But
black men gotta stand up and start taking certain accountability for creating these environments. And even holding their homeboys accountable. Like,
yeah,
nah, my nigga, you know you was smashing. Let's go see if that's your baby and go help the girl out with the baby.
Yeah. I mean,
So we I think I think it's time for accountability shift amongst our men. Yes, women too. A woman is the first teacher. I'm not going to deny that. But our men need to step up. It's a must. Why? I mean, if you're not liking the situation that is in, step up, get the kids, grab your seeds or die trying. But we got to shift the accountability because we feed into it every day by dealing with these type of people. And it is a self, um, when you picking, you picking for self, but it's just a lot to discuss, especially when it's dealing with the black woman, because do she know how to pick? That's the next question. Do she know how to pick? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of us don't. Okay. Now
yeah,
we learning slowly but surely. You pick here, but honestly, what standards are the black men having to be able to say, could I obtain it? I just
right.
don't think they putting their standards on board for black women to obtain it. If the black woman is automatically canceled out, regardless of, then what? Because just because she foreign or she from another ethnicity, that has nothing to do with attitudes, personalities. Because you could get somebody that's an asshole that speaks proper, or just, they could speak a whole nother language, Spanish, French, whatever. So
But
I
one
think it's just,
thing that I do find that a lot of black men who marry interracially say that women of other races don't like they're not as combative as black women. Like we known for the attitudes and all of that and being combative with our men.
well, I think it comes with the territory. Black women carry so much weight. They do. When we walk out that door every day as a black woman, we know we have strikes against us. So in regarding to dealing with the world and then having to come back to home, I mean, is he providing that space? Is he providing that outlet so you
Yeah,
can vent?
I mean, it do go both ways though, cause like black men deal with a lot as well. But a lot of times, like, well, they go both ways too. I was gonna say a lot of times, cause we be bringing baggage and like I already give Johnny, get out of that. Oh, we got a comment. He said most modern women carry an attitude.
I mean, to a certain degree, depending on how you approach me, yeah, they we do. I'm not gonna even sit here in front. We do, but
Oh, he says foreign or domestic.
and when I said we, he had it right. Modern women. So when I say we, yeah, we do, we do.
I think I'm more traditional in a sense though. But like my parents were married, so I already knew like what the expectation was. And I think that's a problem too with a lot of black women coming from single households. They are not seeing what it means to be married or like the role of a wife, and like they want the title and stuff, but they don't know how to be anyone's like helpmate, and they think they supposed to run the house. That's another thing. Didn't I tell you?
So
Yeah.
in a traditional sense, I think the woman always did ran the house. The thing is she bringing peace to the home? Because a lot of men doing a lot of complaining, but they're not pulling their weight. They're laying up on these women. They got free housing. They're doing this, doing that, lying, telling her, "Oh, I'm gonna get on my feet. I'm coming."
But the women have to make the decision as to if that's the type of man they gonna deal with. I mean, some women are settling just to say they got a man there.
Girl, ain't that disgusting? Fuck, they be fucking it up for the rest of us. But
Hmm.
ultimately, it is our decision. I can't sit here and lie about that and make up excuse about that. It is what you gonna put up with, you know.
Yeah. But if women start raising their standards and stop being so damn what do you- if they stop being so damn wishy-washy and like stick with it, and I'm gonna say majority of black women, I think the men will rise to the occasion, because if a nigga know he can get away with doing like the bare minimum with a chick, he gonna choose the chick that he don't have to put that much effort into, unless he have a certain level of standards himself. Like he gonna be like, why I'm gonna go over here to where I have to, do this, this, and this, when I can go here and don't have to do nothing and still, you know, sleep with her every night.
And again, like you said, it goes back to the woman. If she
But
gonna
then,
put up with
like,
it.
they going and they sleeping with these women, but they ain't marrying them.
Hmm.
Like the issue isn't black women getting a man; it's them keeping a man and being able to get married.
Child, they need some wife school. Don't you know they got a female that teaches something about wife school that lives out in Africa somewhere? She on
A
Facebook.
lot of black women need it. A lot of black women definitely need it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and like
But
a lot
some of that shit I don't agree with what she be talking about. But some things definitely there has to be a standard amongst women to be more modest.
yeah,
That there is. So yes, women are definitely lacking, but I'm gonna say we still somebody need to help fix they just like we put having these self-help talk about women. Somebody need these self-help talk about men so they could lift their positive and raise their vibrational vibe, man. Our men lost out here, yeah.
yeah.
For real.
But
Somebody needs to come
overall,
along and save the day.
as a whole, like black men are getting married. A lot of them just aren't marrying black women. But
Well,
another thing I had touched on, I was talking about, like, how some black women feel that black men can't be trusted to stay with and provide. Um, and I think that is a thing. Like, income plays a major part in like having that sense of security. And a lot of black men only make around 40,000 a year. Um, so yeah, that's that. Like being able to provide. But I mean, if you with somebody and like say the woman make 40,000 a year, if you get a man that make 40,000 a year, that's like 80,000. So I mean, it's still better than you out there battling it out by yourself. and not having, you know, a partner.
Again, that goes back to the black man and him having a plan. Cause I ain't looking to make 40, $50,000 5 years from now.
Right, right.
It's his plan, steady in place and moving action to be able to show that okay, right now I can't take on the whole household. However, if we do this together, these are my plans, and I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's the main thing. Not being able to provide. It is an issue, but they need a plan in place.
Right, right. And two, and I don't even think this just applies to like poor or lower income black men, but I read that they're rejecting monogamous relationships, like to mess around with different women to have like they pick, because of their inability to fulfill the breadwinner role.
Mm. I mean, that's on them. That's the low vibrational ones we ain't looking for. Because
Yeah.
if you picking based on your inabilities not to be able to provide, then that's the ones that need to be left alone.
Yep. And we definitely, like I was saying, as far as like teaching our children, like a lot of single mothers hate to fucking admit it, but like teach your kids. If you had kids out of wedlock, teach them not to have kids until they marry. The boys and the girls. I be telling my kids all the time, look, what y'all don't want to do is have no damn kids. Do not have no kids until you're married and you know for sure that that's who you want to be with the rest of your life. Because even when you have kids with somebody, you forced to deal with that person. And like a lot of black women, like how we was talking about earlier, like you can date and you can see multiple people, but the problem comes in when you start having all these damn kids, because the more kids you have, a man that's of a certain caliber do not want no damn ready-made family. And like you got all these kids, you got this baby daddy drama, like you're gonna attract low vibrational men.
Girl, my mom told me that shit years ago. I never forget when I had my first daughter. And she said, okay, mistakes are bound to happen. But let me tell you something. You ain't top tier if you start having all them children. And you
Hmm.
cannot command the type of man that you truly want. You would have to settle. So I suggest if in your best interest that you pick wisely. Yeah, girl.
Yep, and
Yep,
more
you ain't
mothers
lying
need
about that one.
yep, more mothers need to like talk to their kids about that. Like, but in order to do that, like they have to be accountable. And a lot of black women don't like to be held accountable, especially like kids is a sensitive topic. You know, motherfuckers be thinking they top of the line, top tier, but bitch, you got a whole house full of kids. You ain't top of the line. Like, and usually a lot of times the kids are why you single and don't nobody want to marry.
I just feel like in due time, hopefully, they do find somebody for them and rectify their action. But
What
they
if
know deep
if
down,
they
they
have
know deep down inside that eats them alive too.
I was gonna say if they have realistic expectations, because you know, even the most I'm gonna say even the most like, mm, I don't even know how to say it without like it coming off like the wrong way. But like even sometimes the raggediest thing think they the baddest thing walking. And they'll have like unrealistic expectations.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, they would be able to find somebody of their caliber if they're realistic about like what type of partner, they're entitled to.
Right.
But I think like the unrealistic expectations, not taking accountability and not really knowing what they want is like one of the pretty much the main reason why a lot of black women aren't married.
Yeah.
But I was so happy, like with my husband, uh, I was so happy that I had like the shit that was on my list. Cause I probably if like I probably would have like died alone. Cause I figured like, okay, I ain't finna settle, but I also wasn't unrealistic.
Right. Right.
And he's above average, so we ain't gotta be like scraping no pennies together. He a good provider. He good with the kids. We be
Right.
on the same page for the most part, and we don't argue a lot. Like we'll have certain disagreements, but like I was saying earlier, when my daddy was like, "Look, you got to learn to shut the hell up sometimes." Like when you married, you got to learn like just to be quiet and let stuff go.
Right. Right. I don't know. As far as relationships and stuff, I just think black women haven't been taught to date as well. All right. Like it was always, oh, this one you could settle for. Like, it's always that settling effect. And that in turn stifle a lot of people communication. So that's why I just personally think that with dating and the black woman, that definitely needs to be rewritten, you know,
Yeah,
because this thing where, especially like, when they see Lori and other young ladies living it up. I ain't saying they supposed to be kissing everybody and all this and that. We know paparazzi follows these people around. But getting to know people is very important, and knowing that you could change your mind if you don't like them.
right.
So it's a lot that needs to be rewritten for as the standards of dating for black women.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that has to rule into play.
I was thinking about like, okay, like in the black community, if you're being fast, like when you talking to multiple people.
Right. And that shouldn't be it, because what boyfriend mean? That's your boy, and he's a friend. Nothing more. Okay? Why shouldn't we? I mean, man, girls and boys coexist in life. That's how we created. So I'm thinking, in a sense, we gotta get past that. Or she fast because she talking to him. Because when I was growing up, they thought I was fast too. Because I prefer boys as friends more over the female, and that didn't mean anything. But we was just genuinely friends, girl. People think you're sleeping with everybody.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like the way that society is today, I don't know why people feel like that men and women can't just have platonic relationships. It always gotta be like something sexual.
Right. Everything ain't about sex, you know. The people could be genuinely having a good time together and as friends. So I just think that that rule got something. We gotta rewrite the standards for that, so that our girls could understand that they have choices. You know, and especially while you in the business of making up your mind and you growing up and maturity sets in, these are the choices that you're making. You know,
Yeah.
so that's why I said, yeah, we need to
Somebody
rewrite that.
said because they can't. Um, in regards to the platonic relationships, I don't know. He must. I don't know what type of women he know, but
Wait, cause they can't. What he
yeah.
said?
In the comments, he was saying men and women can't have just platonic relationships.
Bullshit. I'm sitting with a gentleman right now. That's my friend. He was generous enough to let me go on live because I've been told him that was my plans for tonight. That's my friend. We ain't never had dealings.
Yeah, and I mean, I've had relate platonic relationships with guys too that we never like slept together.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's crazy to always think that, oh, just because you see a beautiful woman with a man, he always on. Maybe if it is in the back of his mind, oh well. But all I know is this is a platonic relationship. We can't help what goes on in the back of men's mind. We don't read minds and all this and that. So no,
Right.
we could be friends and without the benefits. That's what we talking about. Dating 101. You could be friends without the benefits. Period.
I agree. Well, on the dating aspect, um, I don't know from that aspect of it, like without dating without the benefits, because um like the whole point of dating well is to get married, you know? Like you don't want to be wasting time and like dating somebody that you know you don't see yourself with. That's just my opinion though.
Now, okay, so my thing is sometimes it's good not to have relations, sexual intercourse while dating because you assessing that person's personality. Now, if you attracted to them like that and you really, really feeling them, then yeah, you won't talk in because you won't see what it's hidden for. But that don't mean dating me, I'm gonna be laying down with everybody. No. I'm
Oh
special.
no. I wasn't saying like everybody, but like
The few that you interested in, then yeah, you might want to tap in, you know, to see what it's hitting for. Yeah, I wouldn't like, because sex is a big deal. You
yeah.
don't want to be walking around this bitch looking all frustrated, like, girl, he take care of my bills. He rub my feet. He love me, but bitch, I just can't catch a nap. Oh yeah,
But
oh yeah. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You gotta be compatible. Now, like I said, certain shit is deal breakers for because some women will put up with that shit to have a certain lifestyle. Let's just be clear. You know what I'm saying? Long as they taken care of and all that great stuff, some women will go for it. Then there's others that just like, girl, uh-uh. Because they'll find me in somebody else's bedroom performing a trick. No man.
Like being compatible like in the sex department was definitely um a that was a major thing. That was like one of the things at the top of my list that was like a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not about to be frustrated and feeling like I'm settling just for your ego. I would have been like,
Mm-mm.
next.
Okay. So yeah, I think a lot of sex is definitely that.
Oh,
Cause a lot of
somebody
them
said if you're dating without sex, then dating makes sense. But if you're dating and getting hit because your hormones are raging, then you losing. I agree. Um,
reread it for me. I can't hear you.
he says if you're dating without sex, then dating makes sense. But if you're dating and getting hit because your hormones are raging, then you're losing.
I don't know. Because they didn't have some marriages that came through from, raging hormones and all that other stuff. So I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because if
Um,
you interested in somebody like that, you gonna want to see you. It's in the back of your mind. You curious.
yeah.
So that don't necessarily mean that we monogamous. See, they ain't ready for that conversation. Come through. Keep the questions coming. That's right. Keep them coming.
I agree because they don't be monogamous
All
like
right.
during the dating stage.
You
And like
know,
I always like when I dated, we like if we're gonna have a conversation with set intentions on what the hell we doing. Like you ain't about to just be dragging me along. Like
well, no, you ain't gonna just drag somebody along. If that's something that you feeling, of course you gonna stop it and say, wait, hold on, where we going there with this? You
my
got to.
husband peeping in now and trying to hear what's going on. What you want? No, you wanted to see what was going on. Him and Gigi. Boy, everybody done seen you. Okay, bye. No. Oh Lord. You interrupting. Okay, love you. Bye bye. Oh Lord. Look, I'll be trying to tell him we need to like do talks like from a married people's perspective. Cause we definitely have learned a lot on this little road, especially like conflict resolution and communication stuff.
Right. Because communication is key.
Yep. And how you deliver that communication too. Cause effective communication. Cause some people will say what needs to be said, but the way you deliver stuff um determines how your partner receives it. Cause I'm a
Yeah, I could
screamer.
agree.
Like after like I get frustrated. If I done told you something before, like if I gotta tell you again, I'm gonna be frustrated and then I scream. But My husband doesn't like respond to that, so I had to learn to like tone this shit down before I be by myself.
Yeah, nobody likes a nagging woman. They even say it in the Bible, girl.
Right. Or a nagging man, because some of them be naggers
Oh,
too.
girl, look, I just dismissed, girl. I don't do nags. Oh, no. I was like, man, you fuss a lot. I was like, baby, you ain't about to be disturbing my energy just for
Yeah.
unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, you ain't about to fuss me out and have me at a heart attack.
Okay. I think I went that's everything. I think I went over all my points. Did you want to add anything before we end the broadcast?
As far as
Tips to black women, or like any further thoughts on like black women in marriage?
man, we just all need to love one another. Can we all just get along?
I
That's
agree.
it. Nope, but I enjoyed the podcast. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, it's always a good time when we link up.
Will do.
Okay, good night, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in, and check us out next week for another video, possibly. Or if my girl can't come back next week, we will definitely have another guest. So, see y'all soon.